Greetings, traveller! This day we shall speak of the Tale of Two Worlds, an adventure told through the use of the magical abaci, known as PC, Crossbox 15 Score, and PlayStation 3. This tale hath been passed down to me of James Zero's lineage. Many thanks upon thee, good sir. Here we speak of the tale which hath originated from the Bards of Reality Pump and the merchant of such works, Topware Interactive. 'Twas a tale of actors engaging in harrowing adventure, which scholars spake of upon its release into the world in the year of our Lord 2007, uttering harsh strictures upon its actors' portrayals of yon roles, and horrid deficiencies in yonder construction. But how doth one know certainly? Afore we venture into the depths of this tale, I beseech thee, pay heed as I speak of the artistry and music. Look upon the artistry with wonderment or something akin, for here's a world of lush shrubberies. 'Tis many a hue in this world, though one can say 'tis but the world 'tis of an impressive nature. Yonder menfolk be pitiable, thy faces be malformed, thy forms twisted, thy movements strange and alien. But one issue of artistry remains. In the realm of two worlds, seems women are somewhat of a rarity. One sees only thy hero's sister throughout, all others are men. So one must posit the question, wherefore art there so few women folk? But no answer shall she receive. Natheless, 'tis fortuitously a feast for the ears. Yonder music is reasonable, but ne'er o'ersteps its bounds. 'Tis normal fare for such a tale, but 'tis the players and the stagehands spring the work above. Thy portrayals art masterful as a chicken doth fly. 'Tis all horrid, but one cannot be unentertained from these ghastly words. Stage hands bringeth thy strange racket to assist, yet our pitiable swell.
Should you not return to the village?
And why should I not go back there, pray?
Some people came to Cormoran when you left. They asked for you.
People? Tell me more. Swiftly now.
Warriors. Hired ones. Not very friendly. One of them stayed to await your return.
Ha! The elder clearly thought I would run rather than meet this man. Forsooth, 'twas generous, but he now has lost the chance to save money.
'Tis moments such as these in which one findeth great joy, yet they are but a leaf upon the gales next to the meat of our tale. Our tale beginneth with the demise of one flame god Azeroth, thus bringing the malevolent tide of the taint.
The death of Azeroth, the continent became infested with the taint.
Verily, 'tis a strange name, and I cannot fathom why it was woven into yon tale. Our hero findeth himself thrust into matters of great import upon his sister's absconding. He searcheth for her far and wide, but forsooth she hath vanished. But hark! Word from afar brings our hero to yon realm of Talmont, in which we beginneth our quest. The adventure concerneth finding thy sister, rescuing the fair damsel from the clutches of the evil Reist, and thwarting his evil plot. In so doing, our hero finds himself a pawn of yon villain Gundahar, servant of Reist. We findeth on the morrow that our quest involveth finding yon elements, and opening the crypt of Azeroth by Gundahar's wishes. 'Tis a common yarn, yet sadly here greatly frayed. One careth not for the hero in throes of servitude under Gundahar, nor thy sister, who haveth the character of a stone. Indeed, none of our hero's associates be more than branches upon a fouling oak. 'Tis a piteous well that our hero's final battle is a pitiable affair. 'Tis a lesser foe than the mighty one that came afore it. Thus we must rely upon the machinations of our great adventure, and oh, what a common adventure 'tis. Our hero walketh or rideth upon a horse from village to dell, doing great deeds for those he encounters. Whether by sword or bow or magic, he slayeth his foes and groweth in might. The spoils of war be his to do with what he wishes, whether to be bartered or made other use of. Yonder artisanship alloweth thee to provide thy armament with greater potency. It requireth many copies of yonder weapon or armor, so that one may absorb the power of the equipment, and createth more powerful ones from within. Mine own sword be that forged from many of its kind, granting it a greater potency than the others. Or one may engage in alchemy to craft mighty potions, or engage in thievery to garner riches, or other wherewithal. One may embark upon quests for the many guilds in this land of Talmont, whether the noble band of mercenaries, the Brotherhood, or the foul necromancers. These associates will grant our hero training, shops, and quests to raise his standing within and his power and wealth. Thy repute within a guild may alter thy experience, though 'tis weak, as yon quests be but idle work, and give thee but a few rewards and results. 'Tis a well-sought prize to effect one's will upon the world, natheless, weak herewith, one findeth thyself oft in danger for but a few coin. Warfare is a grisly affair. Swordsmen be warned that thy abilities be of no use here. The curse upon this tale's combat will bring thy skilled hand to ruin. 'Tis but swinging thy sword in yon X shape, as though it were a club. The archer will find himself lacking swell, as 'tis but a focusing upon thy foe and loosing yon arrow. Magic is constructed upon the use of cards, however. One must possess the required skills afore using yonder spells, but 'tis a simple matter of preparing one's cards to craft spells of great power. 'Tis air, water, fire, and earth magics, but thy storyteller hath used fire magics. Forsooth, magic is a source of great power, but requireth a great much mana to properly use. But when confronted with powerful foes, one need only lure these foul creatures out like beasts, using thy magics to destroy them. 'Tis effective, but greatly tedious. One findeth little joy in smiting thy foes, to be sure. Sadly, our hero doth find his own greatness limited. One must first learn a skill to use it, as we all know, but here 'tis a matter of training early. Findeth thee yonder teacher for the necromantic arts, and thee shall learneth these arts. And so it is for all of the skills. After this one finds only advancement within, through use of such objects as skill points, garnered upon yonder level up. Only thy magic circle skills alloweth thee to utilize thy abilities. All others be but betterment within. 'Tis a simple way, and quite uninteresting to be sure, but fair effective. But 'tis all wanting. Yon adventuring 'tis but adventuring we hath done many a time. 'Tis but yon magic 'tis of import. Yonder faulty construction is also of note. One finds many a ghost haunting this tale, throwing yon watcher into many a place of disfavour. 'Twas bettered in yon epic edition, yet many an echo persisteth. 'Tis a yarn most troubled indeed. Yonder adventure's a tale of woe, but 'tis more than a poor tale. 'Tis a tale that moveth into yon so foul 'tis glorious status, yet 'tis still a pitiable mess of an action role-playing game. And thus the critic spake, I giveth this tale an 1 of 5. But verily I say unto thee, 'tis a rollicking one, natheless. Perchance the next tale improveth things? We shall see. Many thanks for thy attention, great viewer.